Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I am your host, Dennis Batholkus, and this is Saturday Morning Blast Off. This is basically the talk about anything genre news, talk about genre stuff, all of that good thing. And excuse me. Yes, I still am recovering from the viral pneumonia. I still do cough at times here and there. I apologize in advance. Because it was a nasty thing, really. It is. So I've got my tea, if you will, there we go. We got some people in the chat who's here. We got Mork, Smooth Fanobi, Sculpted Leather Art by Viking Bitch. I saw Battle Marcus 88 was in here as well. And do we have anybody else that was in here? I know there's a few lurkers as well that we have in here. And the Filthy News. I saw the Filthy News was here as well. So, Morks, I'll tell you right now, Russian Doll is really good. It won't hook you until the end of episode 3, quite honestly. It's only 8 episodes, but at the end of episode 3 is where you go, what the fuck? Yeah, that's there you go. So yeah, as old people slur me, that's what happens. You get pneumonia and it's down for the count. That's what happens. And the other thing through about Morks about Russian Doll is they're only half-hour episodes, so it's really easy to get through. And good writing too. Some really good writing. Good morning, everybody. Excuse me. Wow. So we're going to talk just nothing but Doctor Who and STD news. No, I'm kidding. I kid. I really don't care about that stuff. And quite honestly, it's boring. It's really boring stuff. So as more people trickle into the room here, tomorrow is something that you may or may not have heard of. It's something called the Oscars, the Academy Awards. Anybody interested in anything like that going on? Anybody having any Oscar? I know back when I was younger, we used to do, this is before the internet, of course, was really, prolific. We used to have Oscar parties and stuff like that. When I lived in San Francisco, people actually used to rent out like movie theaters, and they would project the Oscars on the screen and have like big parties. I mean, it'd be a huge gathering of people. You'd have alcohol, food, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's it used to be a big deal. Now I just read something that I started laughing at, that they said that viewer attendance is or viewership of the Oscars is going to be really so far down that ABC, which I think is airing it, has offered guarantees to the advertisers. So if they don't get a certain count, they get some money back. And they're already expecting it to be one of the lowest viewed Oscars ever. And I think that's just because it's dull. It really is. It's really fucking boring. It's a party for the elite, is really what it is. No one cares. They're usually movies that no one really watches, to tell you the truth. And some of them are good, but quite honestly, a lot of people don't. Yeah. Hey, Dante, good morning. And James, hello. James says, no STD or Doctor Who talk. That's the best news I've heard. Exactly. I don't cover that stuff here, nor will I. It's just not something I'm interested in, honestly. And if I'm not interested in it, I'm not covering it. And also, if I'm not enjoying it, I'm not going to cover it either. As what happened with the Orville. Yes, I did watch the last episode of the Orville, and it was good. But at the same time, I'm like, where was this writing earlier in the season? So, yeah. And I was kind of disappointed by that. That, we had a episode about peeing. We had an episode about, the relationship one was interesting. It just, but still, what was this, episode 5 or 6 or 7, something like that. And I was like, well, where the hell was this at? I mean, you could have, started off setting this one up and then gone into it, and that would have been so much better. Because I mean, it looks like he's going to go off on an Orville rant here for a second. It actually looks like he's dropped the comedy stuff now and is going full on sci-fi, which is what he should have done to begin with. He should have decided if he was going to go the comedy route or if he was going to decide to do the straight sci-fi route, because doing the two does not work with this. It's jarring. It takes people out of it. And that's the reason why people are back and forth on this thing. So yeah, it's yeah, exactly, Morks. Finally, you finally did something, and it's actually a good storyline too. So I mean, it's something that Stephen Hawking has talked about before he passed away. R.I.P. Long before he passed away, honestly, he talked about this. So, yeah, they did. They did bring in the Dalek Cyberman plot. Yeah, he is. I'm not even going to say he's doing homage or borrowing from. He's flat out ripping off other better sci-fi shows and their plot lines. That's what he's doing, and just putting it in there. That's fine. I mean, if you're going to do a quality show and you're going to steal heavily, steal from the best. There you go. Yeah, Dalek's Dalek Cyberman is greater than couples therapy, Marks. You're right. Cordell Fenival says couldn't watch more than a couple of episodes of Deadly Class or Project Blue Book, though Viking Bitch just wasn't good enough. Huh. Yeah, to each their own. I mean, and that's the other thing too. I'm not going to judge you on what you guys watch. I'm not going to tell you you're a bad person because you don't watch this or that, or you're crazy for not watching this. We all have different tastes. If you don't like something, you don't like something. It doesn't do it for you. I understand. There's stuff that doesn't do it for me. Same thing. Like there's stuff that actually I love that other people hate. They think it's crap. It works. It works that way. That's because we're all different. Yeah. Yeah, James, Russian Dolls is awesome. So yeah, I guess everyone's not watching the Oscars tomorrow. I'm not either. I haven't watched it in years. Honestly, I've just given up to the point where I wait till the next day and then take a look at the list. I'm like, oh, nobody that I actually, anything that I liked actually didn't win. Okay, good. So, yeah, and then someone also brought up in my counterpart review for episode 10 that, excuse me, J.K. Simmons had not been nominated at all for any of this stuff in Counterpart, and I'd forgotten about that, and I'm like, yeah, that's just insane, considering especially the first season where he's playing against himself, in the room, even here in the second season, the final season, playing against himself in the room near the end, you could still see that back and forth, and it's two totally different characters, and that none of these people are being recognized for this by the awards people is just wrong. Sculpted Leather Art by Viking Beach says, I love Natasha Lyonne, so I had a feeling I was going to like it. Yeah, and also the people, she's one of the writers or one of the creators of the series. Amy Poehler is also one of them, and it's a female film director. I can't remember her name right now. I want to say she's done a lot of some 80s movies as well as some 90s movies, and I can't remember her name, but all three of them are the ones that that created that show, and it's a damn good show, and I'm glad it's gotten already renewed for a season 2, and I believe a season 3, if I'm not mistaken, because they know where they're going with it. And speaking of shows that aren't coming back, we talked about Counterpart. Man in the High Castle. The 4th season is going to be its final season over at Amazon. I'm not sad about it because it's getting 4 seasons. It knows that its 4th season is its last season, so they can prepare for it. Everything I've read from the showrunners and the writers and stuff like that have been saying that they're going out with a blast. They are going to. It's already exceeded expectations. If you've read the original story, they've deviated from the original story big time, and it's not bad. I mean, it's a pretty good. I really like season 3. Season 3 was pretty damn good, but I'm interested to see where they go with this in season 4. Especially with the time tunnel. That doesn't work really. Not the time tunnel, but the world tunnel, if you will. It's basically, it looks like the old tunnel from the Time Tunnel TV series from the 60s. So, yeah, exactly. Sculpted leather art by Viking Bitch. 4 seasons is a good run. It's always better to have them prepare so they can wrap things up properly. James says, I'm really digging Deadly Class as well. The 80s nostalgia hooked me. Yeah. I was a kid in San Francisco in the 80s. San Francisco Bay Area, shall I say. We moved out of San Francisco to the East Bay of San Francisco when I was like, 10 or something like that. So, but we still had a business in San Francisco, so I'd have to go into San Francisco all the time. And yes, they doing San Francisco justice? Well, they're not really showing the city so much as they're interacting with the kids. So the first couple episodes did, and he was right about that whole thing about Reagan releasing all the mental patients. There was actually Laguna Honda Hospital, is what it was called in San Francisco, where they had literally 2,000 mental patients. They basically just opened the doors and let them go. That was it. There is no, because Reagan slashed all the funding for it and let all those people go, and they wound up on the streets. So, yeah. If you ever wonder why there's a huge homeless problem, it's not just because I don't know if there's some of them that are still out there from the original one, but yeah, it's a pretty bad thing. Mork says San Francisco was black and white by then. What do you mean by that? You mean the photos? Or Viking Bitch says, I like Deadly Class, but I like the adult stories more than the kids stories. I get enough of teenagers at my job. A long time ago is what you mean, Morks, by the black and white. Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of weirdness that happened in San Francisco in the 80s. So that's all I can say. But a lot of fun, too. So one of the big things that came out of this week was that both Punisher and Jessica Jones have been canceled at Netflix. That's right. Both of them have. And this is not a surprise to anybody. We knew this was coming. We knew this was coming down the road. The writing was on the wall there. We already knew this because Disney Plus, or D Plus as I call it, was getting ready to come out. And I'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later here. But season 3 of Jessica Jones is still in the works. It is still coming out. It will be the last Disney Marvel Netflix series that comes out. Yeah, Dante, the Punisher, I never liked the fact that they basically just made him a PTSD poster boy. And I understand that's where they needed to go with it because of the content of it in this day and age of people going out and just shooting up random places. He is not the most accessible character. And in this day and age, it's a hard thing to sell, to tell you the truth. And so they had to go with the PTSD storylines that they went with. And I liked the first couple episodes of season 2 of Punisher, but then after that, I was just like, yeah, this really isn't the Punisher. This is just, a soldier with PTSD who is killing people. Yeah. So yeah, Thomas Jane was my Punisher as well. Cordell Fennell. There we go. What was that? Me Too, James. I hope Henry Rollins is more. Yeah, dude, I hope Henry Rollins is in more episodes of Deadly Class as well. Henry Rollins is awesome. If you ever get a chance, he did a series called Spoken Word, where, and I believe it's up on YouTube, if I'm not mistaken, but awesome series, Spoken Word. And he is one smart dude. Just don't let the tats fool you. And, that he's a punk rocker and all that stuff. He is one smart dude, and yeah, some pretty cool stuff. I consumed all 10 samples of UA and I liked it. UA, oh, Umbrella Academy. There we go. Yes. I will be talking about Umbrella Academy tomorrow. Yes, I will be doing an Umbrella Academy. I don't think I have that up. No, I do have that up on my schedule. So, so another thing about tomorrow, besides doing Umbrella Academy, I'm also going to be moving Future Man to tomorrow evening, somewhere around there. And the reason for that is Monday, I'm not going to be able to make it. I just have some stuff I got to do by work, and I'm not going to get back in time. And I really would rather do it, you know, when I'm more relaxed and having to be rushed through it and all that stuff. So Monday is going to be a dead zone. I'm not going to have anything going on Monday. UA versus DP, Umbrella Academy versus Doom Patrol. I honestly, right now, I'm going to have to say Doom Patrol is edging out Umbrella Academy, the Netflix version of Umbrella Academy. Okay. Not the comic book version of Umbrella Academy. The comic book version of Umbrella Academy is a bit different. Actually, it's a lot different. And the reason why they couldn't do it, and Steve Blackman, the guy who created it for Netflix, said there was no way in hell they could do the opening scene from the comics. They just didn't have the money for it. So, yeah, they just couldn't do it. But yeah, Doom Patrol, just because of Alan Tudyk's voiceovers, it's, I mean, a TV show wise, yeah. Yes. Yeah, Alan Tudyk just makes that show. Even the recaps, like I said, I don't watch the recaps usually, but when he started doing the voiceover for the recap, because I thought it was going into the next episode, but it wasn't. And then I realized it was a recap, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, it's being narrated by him? Okay, I got to watch this then. And that's the reason why I watched the recap. It's just because of the voiceover that he was doing, which was pretty damn funny. But I've talked about that. If you go and take a look on my page here on my channel, I do have a Doom Patrol page up, and I've done episode 2. Yeah, the DC Universe subscribers on Reddit. Yeah. And he also gave a little shout out to Grant Morrison as well, which I thought was funny. Yeah, he became Deadpool-esque, if you will. He broke the fourth wall by talking to us. And also the talking cockroach too. Man, the talking cockroach, I was not expecting. And I was laughing so hard, I actually had to rewind it because I had to keep going back to hear what he was saying because it was just making me laugh. I was not expecting that at all. But then again, I should have expected this because we know that they're going to have a sentient street. Yes, a street, like a city street, that is going to be in one of the episodes. It's a sentient city street. There you go. It's a weird fucking show. It really is, but it's right up my alley. I like these weird things. I like something I haven't seen before. I don't want to see cookie cutter shit, really. Orville. I want to see something new. You know? Oh man. Yeah, I know. I know people like Orville. Okay, I understand that. It's great. But let's be honest, he does take everything from other places. It's not, it's not original. There we go. Is DC Universe worth it, James? It's $8 a month. So if you've canceled a subscription someplace else, yeah, it's worth it. Like I canceled Stars, which was $8 a month. Actually, it was $9 a month. So it went down $1 for me by doing it. And you've got access to all these DC comics. You've got access to Batman the Animated Series, which I just redid for 4K. Titans, which I can't recommend. Titans is horrible because of Akiva Goldsman. You have old TV shows that are in there too. Wonder Woman, like from the 70s. Justice League, Young Justice, I should say. The Outsiders, they have the new episodes of those. What else? Pretty much anything that's DC related is on there. So yeah, there is a lot of stuff to go through. Is it worth it? Then yes, it is worth it for that. But Doom Patrol for me, for what is that, $8 a month, and you figure you're getting 4 episodes out of that month, $8 for 4 episodes, pretty damn good. So there we go. Movie Finale says, wish I brought headphones. I'm not good at reading Dennis's lips. All I hear is wah 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 wah, fun bitch, wah 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 wah, wah 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 wah. There you go. Let's see if you can actually read that. You know, there is a closed caption. Oh, wait, you can't do the closed caption yet because I haven't activated that until after this becomes a video. Then I do closed captions. And then they fuck up everything because they can't understand what I'm saying. I've actually read it and I started laughing. That's why I keep doing it. Stanley Tweedle says, you have to imagine the Star Trek fan crying under the shower because of Discovery. Orville's a chocolate cookie he is nibbling on. Yeah, I don't know. It's, you know what? I look at it this way. If you're that upset about Discovery, there's a whole backlog of good Star Trek stuff that's out there. You can watch that instead. And just don't pretend it doesn't exist. That's all it is. Yeah, my last name was pretty damn funny, Marks. It murders my last name completely. So yeah. Movie Nobody says, I'll just pretend he's never saying look at a cosmic ass in the mouth or you might get sucked in. I just said it. There you go. And he's referring to the cosmic ass in Doom Patrol. Yes, they have a donkey in the second episode of Doom Patrol that is has sucked in an entire town. I really don't know how to describe it, honestly, unless you watch it. It's really hard to describe because it is that fucking weird. And again, like I said, I like really weird shit, obviously. Movie Finobi says, so Dennis is giving us a 2-for-1 nerd adventure Sunday. Excellent. Yes, I am. Yes, Nillis, Orville is average at best. I don't understand all the love it receives either. This last episode was good. That's why, you know, when you actually go a little bit above average and you surprise people, I think Eddie Murphy said it best way back when he said it's like a man who's starving, who eats you give him a cracker and he eats. He's like, my God damn, this is the best damn cracker I ever had. This is the Ritz, isn't it? And he goes, but you keep eating that same Ritz over and over and over again. It's like, well, it's just another cracker. It's just the same old cracker is all it is. And yeah, it's pretty much, I hate to beleaguer this, but yes, that's all the Orville is basic at best. So hopefully with this new direction that they're going with this episode, something comes out of it. It's their Borg, if you really want to, is what they're going with. So, on to something else here. Should I? Yes, why not? I'm going to go with it. So, remember that Obi-Wan movie, the standalone movie that they were talking about doing before Solo came out? And there were supposed to be all these standalone movies, like a Boba Fett standalone movie and a Jabba the Hutt standalone movie and a R2-D2 standalone movie and that little mouse droid standalone movie and all that all that shit's gone now because of Last Jedi and Solo and how bad they did. Well, the Obi-Wan movie has now become a standalone, or not a standalone, but a TV series on the aforementioned D Plus or Disney Plus. And yes, I'm wondering if they're going to try and get Ewan McGregor to reprise the role. It'd be kind of funny if they could, but I doubt they're. Well, they have enough money, quite honestly. I mean, they got Jon Favreau to do The Mandalorian, so with Nick Nolte voicing one of the characters, he's doing an Ugnaught, and he's actually doing the facial expressions for it too. So I can see it. Movie for Nebby says, I wanted more Orville, not a Trek show. I like the balance of parody and sci-fi environment to make more unique. Now it's just Star Trek, the derivative generation. Yeah. Cordell Fenival says, if STD wasn't as crappy as it is, people, including me, would not care much about Orville because it's nothing we haven't already seen. Exactly. Vikey Bitch says, a laugh out loud, same old cracker that needs to be a YouTube handle. Someone's going to do that now, because every now and then there's someone that comes in that does stuff like that, which I find hilarious when people come up with really funny handles and just come in. But hey, you just got the notice that I'm live. Congratulations. What is that now? Only almost half an hour in? Congratulations, Slurmy. I only put it on, what was it? I started 45 minutes before the broadcast. I put that up. So, it should have had plenty of time. Yeah. Yeah, Viking Bitch. That's the reason why I love Future Man 2. It's a sci-fi parody that I was craving as well, that is smartly done and funny, well written, and parodies every damn sci-fi trope out there in movies as well, and calls them out by name, which is funny too. And I love it. And they don't apologize for it either. They are not PC, and they still do a good job. I don't know, it's one of those things. Yes, there are also a lot of dick jokes. There are a lot of dick jokes in Future Man. Even when they're not talking about dick jokes, they're talking about dick jokes. And they do callbacks as well. Especially when Josh or Juice has gotten killed, of course, and they've got the corpse, and they're like, well, I'm not doing another eulogy. I did that already, and I gave a pretty damn good one, which was happened. So he dies in the third episode again, and the eulogy had been done in the first episode. So, yeah. Or the second episode, excuse me. Hey, Rough Girl. How's it going? Rough Girl Reviews. Yeah, if you haven't gone over and take a look over at Rough Girl Reviews, and also take a look over at the Filthy News as well. They have some good stuff going on. So take a look over there and watch what they've got going on. Of course, not right now. I mean, I don't want you to leave Saturday Morning Blast off here until, I'm done. But yes, afterwards, take a look. Hey, so we've got an Obi-Wan TV series coming to D+, and I guess no one's really all that interested in it. So we'll see how it goes. But the funny thing is, someone was actually speculating when Disney. We don't know exactly when Disney Plus is supposed to be starting, and they said fall of 2019, which is very vague. But I was reading an article that someone actually kind of sussed this out. So The Return of Mary Poppins is going to hit Netflix, which is a Disney movie, of course, with Emily Blunt. And it leaves Netflix in November. Yes. So, the beginning of November. So that is going to be the very last Disney movie at Netflix that leaves. Once that's done, the Disney deal with Netflix is done. Excuse me. Wow. All of a sudden got stuffed up there. And they speculated that it's going to be probably around November 20th, probably right around my birthday, that is going to happen, that Disney Plus is going to come into being, if you will. All the Marvel movies are leaving Netflix. Everything's done at the end of this year. So their deal with Netflix is done, and they're going to be doing their own. Movie Fanabi says, "Hey, Rough Girl, what was that lost stream you had? Were you lost in your car? Mork says I'd watch a series of Yondu as Mary Poppins. That would be kind of funny. Michael Rooker as Yondu. Yeah, I would do that. Oh, sorry, rough girl. Man. So, yeah. You know what, Viking bitch, I am not holding out hope for Jessica Jones season 3 being as good as the first one. The first one was good. The second one sucked, just really bad. And this third one, it's the same showrunner. Unless they're gonna, make the character actually progress anywhere, because honestly, she hasn't progressed anywhere since season 1. She's the same person. She hasn't grown at all. She was growing in the Defenders, and then they kind of threw her right back again. Excuse me. Oh, he just ran away. That's all it was. So, what else we got here? All of you watching Altered Carbon on Netflix? Probably. You've probably already seen the first season, which was awesome. Well, we just got news that Poe and Quell are going to be back for season 2 of Altered Carbon on Netflix. Anthony Mackie is going to be the new lead. Excuse me. Man, this thing is killing me here. So yeah, Anthony Mackie is going to be the new Takashi Kovacs. Kovacs. There we go. And we got some new additions as well. So Simone Missick, who played Detective Misty Knight, in both Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and The Defenders, is going to be on there. Dina Shahabi, who is in the second season of Marvel's Daredevil, if I remember correctly. She was also in Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan, which is horrible, completely horrible. And the other two people, James Sato and Torben Liebrecht. I don't know who those people are, but the first two, I know they're actually really good actresses. Looking forward to them being in season 2. I've said this before about Anthony Mackie. I don't know if he's a good leading man person, to tell you the truth. Just because, there was that movie he did on Netflix called Io, which I guess he's only in it for like really 5 minutes, even though they're touting it as him being the lead in that. Dante S. I'm still on episode 4 of Altered Carbon. You got to finish that, man. It's been out for almost a year now. Excuse me. What's the name of the female detective in Altered Carbon? She is sexy, as Mark says. I don't know. Movie says, hey, Dennis, weren't you getting a mic stand to support your vocal apparatus? Yeah, I said apparatus. Yes, I do have a mic stand. It's sitting right over here. I'm actually grabbing it, and that's what I moved the table with. I just haven't set anything up. Yeah, because I don't know if I really want to do that yet or not, because then I can have it hanging overhead here if I really wanted to, like a douchebag, or I can put it off to the side here, or put it right in the middle here, all that kind of stuff. Cordell Fenneville, Joel Kinnaman, his sleeve is not coming back for season 2 of Altered Carbon. That's the whole thing about Altered Carbon, is it takes place over decades and sometimes centuries, so he can actually be put into different sleeves. So you don't have to have the same actor all the time. And that's why Joel Kinnaman isn't coming back, because he's a sleeve that is, of course, done. Rough Girl says, I don't think Anthony Mackie has what it takes to be the lead. Maybe a good supporting role. Exactly. Yeah, and hopefully he can step up and just, take the lead, because, man, I like him. I really do. I like him a lot. It's just he's better as a supporting actor than he is as a lead actor. And I'm really kind of, hoping that changes. Hey, flopping has been. I don't want to know. Yeah, you're right. Flapping Husband, the Purple Man did work well off of Jessica Jones, and season 2 was just stupid. It really was. It really, really was. Cordell Fenival says Legion, counterpart Breaking Bad, even Future Man. All those shows bring something new to the table with density and enlightened writing. That's what I want from a show. Game of Thrones, Leftovers, Rectify. Yeah, exactly. And that's what we look at for as a consuming public, if you will. There's stuff out there that if you want to turn off your brain and watch it, it's out there. More power to you. It's, there's tons of that shit out there. I just want some good stuff that I can actually get into, like a good book, or a good movie. And that's what these TV shows are finally stepping up to the plate and doing this. And it's because they get bigger budgets, they're attracting better people in, more talented people, if you will. And I'm glad to see that finally, and it's finding an audience. It really is finding an audience. And you can tell when that happens that people actually will look at your stuff, even the people that are just there to say, wow, it's a really cool action scene. Shit blew up really well. Yeah, it does happen. The movie for says Dennis isn't sure if he wants a phallic device above his head. Yeah, I really don't. Rough Girl says, I have to start over with AC. Okay. I don't know. Oh, Altered Carbon. Okay. Yeah, the shows do blend together, Rough Girl. I know. Trust me. That's why I take notes. So in case no one's ever seen this before, these are my copious amounts of notes. That's one episode, by the way. That was last night's Doom Patrol. That's one episode of Doom Patrol. Yes, and I did write on the side there. So that's why you see me looking down every now and then going, what the? Because I can't remember this shit, quite honestly. And I need to take notes on this so that I can follow along, because quite honestly, I get called out about this in the comments all the time. Like on Counterpart, episode 10, the last episode, I forgot what Peter Quayle mentioned as a name, an alternate name for Spencer. And I said Gertrude. And it was actually something a lot worse. And you could see it on my face. I forgot what it was. I forgot to write it down. And I said Gertrude, and I just ran with it because I was like, yeah, that's wrong, but fuck it. I'm just running with it. And someone called me out on it today in the comment section. I'm like, yeah, take a look at the video. Take a look at my face. You could tell I know what's wrong. And I just kept going. Griselda. Thank you. Yeah, it was Griselda. So, yeah, it happens. I will forget shit. And that's the reason why I write it down, because if I don't, and yeah, Viking Bitch, honestly, that is for an hour-long episode, it is 2 pages of notes that I take. If it's a half-hour episode, or sometimes there's been some Future Man episodes where, yeah, Future Man's usually about page and a half, somewhere around there. But yeah, for an hour-long episode, I will write 2 pages worth of notes. So yeah, and I'm doing this as it's going on. So that's why I miss things too, like Peter's secretary and counterpart grabbing the gun and shooting herself. I looked down literally to take a note, and I looked up and she was dead. I'm like, oh, and I didn't rewind it. So yeah. Nice. Rough Girl. So you're gonna have guest speakers? Nice. And you're gonna be doing tandem skydives too. That's gonna be very interesting. Oh God. Yeah, don't get me started, Viking Bitch, on the Venture Brothers stuff. The Venture Brothers stuff, I actually had to sit there and do research. I was doing like at least 2 or 3 hours worth of research on Venture Brothers stuff, because they get so obscure with their references that I have to go through and literally research what the fuck they're talking about, because people will call you out on that shit. They are worse than Rick and Morty fans. I'm going to tell you that right now. Yes, the fandom can be a little daunting at times. And It can really be daunting at times. And to do something like this and, you know, get called out on it, yeah, it'll make you a little self-conscious. But then there's points where you just go, you know what, fuck it. I'm just going to roll with it. I make mistakes. I do. So Cordell Fenival says, write notes only on the second view, maybe. Sometimes I don't have that option. I usually do it if you wait too long to get out a review or a recap. Others have already, there's thousands of others out there already. And so the earlier you get it out, the better. I hate to say this, especially in this YouTube environment that we have. So Gotham, I will watch that live and take notes on it live. So there's no pausing it or anything like that. And yes, I will miss shit. I will, you know, screw some stuff up, some names and whatnot. And yeah, it's hard to do it for a second view. And also it's the timing too. So if I can't get an East Coast feed, which is early, then I have to watch the West Coast feed, which is too late for people on the East Coast to watch. So yeah, it's all these different balls in the air that are juggling. Now you get to see how the sausage is made behind the scenes there. Yeah. Probably not the best thing in the world, but yeah. What else do we have here? Yeah, you really do have to see Doom Patrol, Viking Bitch. It's pretty damn funny. That's all I can say. It's Tweedle says, do they still teach writing by hand in school? I think they do. Yeah, I had thought about, you know, just typing it up, that kind of thing. And quite honestly, I still have to look down and do it and type it. I'm not the fastest typer, so it's easier for me to just write by hand. Although now, as I write, you can see my hands are getting, you know, a little bit on the bigger side here now too. I get hand cramps as I'm writing sometimes because I'm writing so fast. I'm just sitting there and, you know, Future Man's a little bit easier for me because I've watched the episode once already. It's already dropped. It drops all at once. So when I'm getting through and I'm watching it the second or even the third time sometimes, I will go through and I can write, I can pause, all that kind of stuff, and that's easier for me. Slurmy, just tell him to sit down and shut up and watch. That's all you got to do. Yeah, Viking Bitch, I've tried to get someone to take dictation, and that really hasn't worked. Take notes as phone texts. Oh no, there's no way I could do that on the phone. You know, it's easier just honestly to write. I have a hard time. That's why when you see me when I'm reading notes and all that kind of stuff, I have glasses on. These are readers. Yes, I'm old, so I have problems seeing things now close up. And you know, to watch and also read, you know, have glasses on and type on something small, it's really damn hard to do. So it's easier just to write. And then I also can write stuff in the margins that I forgot and all that kind of stuff, because I do forget stuff. Like, what was it? I forgot to mention Katie, who was one of the personalities that Crazy Jane has, and it's a really evil personality. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot to mention Katie. So as you can see up here, I put in Katie about what she is and all that kind of stuff. Here, I'll go back to something else too. I know I put some stuff in some of the other episodes. This is really kind of entertaining for you guys, isn't it? Deadly Class, for example. Deadly Class, I screwed something up. I said, okay, when Saya and Saya Maria talk about her bipolar and she stopped taking her meds, I'm like, oh wait, that was down here. So I had to put it down in this area. I can't really do that on the phone or while typing. It's just kind of, yeah, it's easier just to do it by hand. A lot of things are easier to do by hand, but there we go. Yeah, Stanley, I know about leaving the glasses at home too. So I'll show you a little thing I got. It's in my pocket here. And no, it's not that. It's not that little thing. So what these things are called, they're called thin optics. I don't work for the company or anything like that. They're literally, it just slides right in and they fit on the end of your nose. You've probably seen me wearing these before. Yes. And yeah, they just slide right on in. And it's supposed to fit on the back of your phone. You can actually, they have a little sticky thing that fits on the back of your phone. Yeah, I do write kind of small for someone who needs glasses, Cordell. So what ends up happening is, if you can see, I will close up as much as possible, but that is within the lines right there. Yeah. And my writing is atrocious too. That's why sometimes you see me going like that. It's because I'm trying to figure out what the fuck I wrote. Yeah, I literally sometimes, and that's over years of doing this, quite honestly. And it's the easiest way for me to do this, to take notes and to cover something. So yeah. Yeah, it is really small. I know, but that's me just because I'm going through as fast as I can, while I'm watching, and sometimes I'm writing while I'm looking at the screen, and so it'll come out. It looks like crap, quite honestly. It really does. Is that good? I haven't started yet. Deadly Class. Yeah, I like Deadly Class. Rough Girl. It's set in the 80s, San Francisco. So someone actually had been talking about it here earlier in the chat, and I saw it. I meant to mention it. Rough Girl says, Dennis, when you see right to some kids, they are like right. What is this strange language? Exactly. Someone was talking about gangs in San Francisco. There we go. Dante says, I've seen Mackie in One Lead, old movie about gangs in San Francisco. Actually, a good movie. Was that the one with God? I can't remember his name. He was the FBI agent with Sandra Bullock in Miss Congeniality, and I can't remember his fucking name now. I think he was also. No, I take that back. Was that the one with Jimmy Smits? He also was a gang member, but I can't remember. So, yeah, Thin Optics, Stanley Tweedle, they're pretty much everywhere. Actually, I just saw them at Fry's, that electronics as well. Hey, Ejar. Guten Tag, Dennis. Hope you're feeling better. Yeah, I'm feeling better. I just have the after effects of it. It's still in my lungs, and you can probably hear it in my nose too. That's why I'm trying not to sniffle too much into the microphone. And yeah, there are so many damn shows out there at the moment. Yeah, that's why I've made the hard and fast rule. If there are 4 episodes in a row where I am not enjoying the show anymore, I cut the show. I'm done with it. Passage was one of them. I actually fell asleep during the 4th episode. That's why I didn't bother with the 4th episode. Yeah, and Orville was another. It just ended up cutting and running. I mean, it's not worth it. There's so much other stuff out there that, especially now, especially with Netflix. Netflix is releasing stuff every damn week. Excuse me. Multiple stuff. So it's really hard to keep up with it. Rough Girl says they are already showing summer commercials like they know their shows suck. Yep. They do. So some more news. What else do we have here? Here's a good one. So Gwyneth Paltrow is going to exit the MCU due to her feeling like she is, quote unquote, being too old to put on the suit anymore. And by the suit, she means the Iron Man suit, which I think she's wearing in the next Avengers movie. Honestly, no one cares. Bye-bye, Gwyneth. Were you even in these movies? Yeah, oh, that's right. You were for like a total of 20 minutes total. Yeah, no one cares about her. Obviously, as everyone can tell, no one's talking about her at all. Bye, Felicia. Exactly, Rough Girl. uh, I still like the Powers Booth one from Tombstone. Bye. uh, yeah. But Viking Bitch says, I don't like wasting my time with bad shows either. I'd rather commit to something that I love. Yeah, exactly. And Stormy Scott says, I haven't given up on The Passage. I'm not sure why. You're still waiting for the vampires to come out? Because right now, I think what are they doing? Are they talking about filling out paperwork and, having the proper procedures that they're supposed to do for these vampires? And the vampires are just still standing in their cells, kind of staring at people. And every now and then they have they go into someone's mind and said they're going to kill them. Yeah. I take that back. They did kill one person, but he was kind of an asshole and deserved it. So that was fine. Viking Bitch says, Fanobi just signed up for DC because he loves me. Oh, I will get to see Doom Patrol, best boyfriend ever. Okay, hang on a sec. I got to activate my insulin pump. Here we go. I got a little shot of insulin down to the pancreas there to take care of that one. Ejar says, I know how you feel about the shows. I've kind of given up on the CW shows. I still haven't, but then again, I watch them for free. There's a CW. That's the one thing I like about the CW. You can watch their shows for free, and they're really fucking cheesy. Yes, they are preachy, but I'm a big fan of the old DC 70s comics that were way the hell out there, that were fun and made no sense whatsoever. And that's pretty much what the CW shows have. Arrow, yeah, it's a little bit broody, a little too broody sometimes. That's the one that's on the bottom of my list. For me, it goes Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl, Black Lightning, Flash, and then Arrow's at the bottom. Yeah. Movie Fanobi says, damn, waiting for parts. Once they get here, still another 20-25 minutes. But I just started the DC streaming trial for Fernovich. We will be staring at a donkey's ass. Yes, you will see the donkey's ass in the first episode, and then you'll see the donkey's mouth in the second. Usually the other way around, but yeah, they decided to go ass first on that one. Yeah, 70s and 80s comics, man. That is a lot of people's base. Yeah, I don't blame you, Cordell. I understand that a lot of people don't like the CW shows, that they're very, they consider them awful and a bane on humanity, but hey, that's pretty much how I look at it. Oh, Ejar, you actually you're cross chatting is what you're doing. Yes, iZombie has its final season coming out, I think in March or April, something like that. And I'm looking forward to that too. Cordell Fenival says, I meant to ask, is True Detective enough of a genre TV show for you to cover it? Saying that a bit late, but I know what qualifies a show for you to cover it. Quite honestly, I haven't seen any of the True Detective stuff. I know people love it, and that would just mean for me to sign up for HBO at this point, and I can't do it. I'm at a limit of what I can watch, and it's in its third season now at this point, so I've kind of given up on that one. We're trying to catch up on it too. I can't do it. It is genre, somewhat. It is based on genre, I guess you could say. But yeah, there's hard and fast rules. I mean, like Project Blue Book, for example, that is a dramatization of Hynek's Project Blue Book stuff that he did, and so it gets into sci-fi territory. So I will run with that. Deadly Class, it's based off a comic book, so that is genre enough where I can run that. And I love Project Blue Book, Ejar. It's what the X-Files should have been when they brought it back. That's what it really should have been. Cordell Fennerville said first and third season, no need for the second. Yeah, I heard the second season was really bad. So when Game of Thrones comes back, am I covering it? Probably. I will probably cover that one because it is the last season, but that's in April. But it's going to follow my 4-episode rule. If it sucks, the first 4 episodes suck, then I will cut it. But hopefully they go out with a bang. I mean, they already took down the ice wall. Spoilers. At the end of last season. Yeah, I heard the last season of Game of Thrones is just going to be crazy insane. Everyone dies. Or do they? So, and by everyone's not talking about it, I understand that no one's interested in Gwyneth Paltrow. So there we go. We're going to move on. So speaking of another series that's coming out, my God, Showtime's Penny Dreadful City of Angels is they just attached Natalie Dormer, speaking of Game of Thrones, to join the cast as the demon Magda, which is interesting. So she is going to be the female lead to the male lead. And interesting, but it's still not going to get me to see it. The first season was good, but it was weird. I mean, the first, of Penny Dreadful was good, but it was just weird. The first series, I should say. Yeah, Stanley Tweedle, season 6, I believe I skipped over. I skipped over season 6. I actually just watched a couple episodes, the final episodes, and then I went into season 7. And season 7, I was like, this is okay. It's not worth me, paying for HBO, but it's all right. And yeah. Movie Fanobi, she already got those. So she's asleep on the couch right now. It's a cold morning here, so she's curled up in a ball. And even though I have the heat on and all that stuff too. And by cold, I mean 30s, 40s right now. So, which is unusual for San Diego. We don't get that here. I love her. What channel? That's going to be Showtime for Penny Dreadful City of Angels. Yeah, and it is a supernatural show. It basically takes literary characters and puts them in like Penny Dreadful, the first series, if you will, took the Wolfman. They had Frankenstein in there. They have Mina Harker, who's a vampire. All this kind of stuff. Yeah, that's there. Mark Maginot, yes, I am going to be covering Umbrella Academy tomorrow. It's on the schedule. And while I liked it, I think Doom Patrol's better. But then again, Doom Patrol hasn't gone through the whole, hasn't aired all its series as of yet. So you're in the 60s, Rough Girl? Lucky for you. I know it's supposed to get there today, hopefully. So. Yeah, Eva Green is awesome. Stanley Tweedle. Why? Cordell Fennerville says, why make such a bad ending to Vanessa Ives' arc if they wanted to milk it some more? And let's see what else I got here, movie-wise. Oh, so last week I talked about Fox, or actually not Fox, but there was 2 Alien TV shows in development. One from Ridley Scott's company, and that's going to be happening at Hulu. And now we just found out what the second one was. The second one is Fox is going to be developing an animated series based on the Alien Isolation game that features Ellen Ripley's daughter. And for some reason, Fox decided that they want to do an animated series based on it. I know it's a good game. I've heard about it, but it's not like, this game that's out there, way out there. That I should say it's not very popular. It's popular, but it's not like hugely popular where everyone knows about it, like Halo or something like that. Which Halo is also getting a series over at Showtime as well. So kind of weird. I did talk about Good Omens movie for Nobi last week and the opening credit sequence. I think you weren't here for that. So see what happens when you miss things? Yeah, and you don't go back and watch the 2-hour long video. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Excuse me. Cordell Venaval says, just give it a couple more seasons. Okay, I don't know where you guys are at on that one. Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens with Good Omens, Rough Girl. I'm not the biggest Neil Gaiman fan, and yeah, I know everyone goes, "What? You're not a Neil Gaiman?" No, I'm not a Neil Gaiman fan. He's okay, but there's some stuff that I don't know. It just like American Gods. I still was struggling through the first season, and I know everyone loves it. It's just, yeah, I can't get through it. But then again, it's also time constraint too, and I keep forgetting about it. And I think my Star subscription ends out sometime on the 9th or something like that. So we'll see what happens. Viking Bitch says, I did try to read American Gods and could not get into it. I like the show much better. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't, it wasn't doing it for me. It really wasn't. Sometimes I get impatient with shows too. I'm like, if you're gonna meander and beleaguer whatever your plot is, and you're gonna draw it out when it can be done if you're gonna draw it out over like 5 episodes, and when it can be done really in 30 minutes, yeah, I will be done with you. I'll be pissed off about it too, and we'll just done with you. Kind of like sci-fi is done with Night Flyers. See how I rolled that into that? Sci-Fi has canceled Night Flyers after 1 season. And quite honestly, again, another show I wasn't about to watch. I didn't like the movie that it was based on the first time around. I'm not, I'm not a fan of the book. So yeah, and I know this is one like George R.R. Martin's babies that he wanted to succeed, and of course it didn't. So there you go. Stanley Tweedle says, I cannot blame them. I managed 5 episodes. Yeah, they canceled. No one watched it, Viking Bitch. That's the reason why they canceled it. No, you're not, Fanobi. You're not the favorite. You guys are going to have to battle out to see who's going to be the favorite. Rough Girl Review says, I feel like my brain is wanting shows to be more linear. I'm really tired of time jumps as an attempt to create content and save the show. Yeah. You mean like Walking Dead did, where they jumped ahead 6 years after Rick Grimes, disappeared? Yeah, I understand you. It's yeah, when you jump ahead in order to get rid of your cast, if you will, or to not really promote this, not to move the storyline ahead, but to get rid of some of your ugliness, your ugly threads that are hanging off there that you need to cut, but you don't know how to. So, Filthy News says, I'm the favorite. Again, you guys are going to have to battle it out. Sorry, I had a dark vision all of a sudden of the Dark Knight, where the Joker breaks that broomstick in half and says, there's only one position left, and the broken broomsticks at him, and says, you're going to figure out who it is. Oh, man. Cordell Fenival says, Coraline was directed by Henry Selick, who also directed The Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah. Henry Selick. Everyone keeps thinking that Tim Burton directed Nightmare Before Christmas. No. It was Henry Selick who directed Coraline correctly, yes. And now Disney is talking about doing the live action Nightmare Before Christmas. Why? It's just weird. Umbrella Academy, not urine analysis, Stanley Tweedle. So, excuse me. Now, this news actually brought a big, big smile to my face. Bill and Ted Face the Music, better known as Bill and Ted 3, is starting to film this summer. Yes, Bill and Ted 3 starting to film this summer. And you know what? I'm loving everything that Keanu Reeves is doing right now. He really, everything that he's in is fun. I know people give him shit for 47 Ronin for being in it, but it wasn't a true adaptation of 47 Ronin. It was based on the original show 47 Ronin, the original story for 47 Ronin. Yes, it's a whitewashed version of it, if you will. However, it's not the same version. There are plenty of versions of 47 Ronin out there that are faithful to the adaptation. This was a little bit different. There you go. But everything else that he's done, yes. And yes, Ejar, I believe it's going to be in San Dimas, which is not too far from me. So, Movie for Nobi says, no live action NBC, please. NBC? I don't know what you're talking about there. Yeah. Movie for Nobi says their ultimate abandonment if you're a hate watching channel. There's so many of those out there. Yeah, I saw that Chris Hemsworth, Filthy News, he's going to be Hulk Hogan. And yeah, he looks like him. And quite honestly, I really don't care about a Hulk Hogan biopic. Or Terry, as he's really known. It's his real name is Terry. I can't remember. I used to know what it was way back in the day. I don't know why. I just did. But yeah, it's. See, I know a lot of people are into wrestling and all that stuff. Terry Bolla, thanks. Yeah, Bolla. I just never. I was into it when I was a kid in the 80s, briefly. I think from 80 to 81. That was it, and then I was done. So, yeah. That was when the Iron Sheik was there and, all that kind of stuff. And I realized what the ridiculousness of it was. But, yeah. Rough Girl says, what if they start bringing us live-action prison TV? I feel like it's starting to go there. Live-action prison TV? You mean like prisoners just kind of walking around in their cells? That's kind of weird. Filthy News says, I've seen wrestling with my family last night. It was funny. Yeah, I heard it's good. I'm again, I don't know any of the players in wrestling, so it doesn't do anything for me. Johnny Depp as Jack Skellington. Disney is done with Johnny Depp. They've cut ties with him. He is not going to be acting in anything Disney anymore. I would be surprised. I wonder if we're going to see him again in anything in the next 5 years because of everything that's happening in court right now with him. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah. So yeah, Bill and Ted Face the Music. I'm definitely looking forward to that. It's quite excellent. See what I did there? Yeah. Excuse me. Here's something interesting that happened. So Patrick Stewart and Hugh Jackman, both of them together have a shared Guinness World Record for the longest portrayal of a Marvel character in the movies. So Patrick Stewart for Professor X, of course, and Hugh Jackman for Deadpool. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. Wolverine, yes. So they actually have a Guinness Book of World Records set for that. It's really weird. Really fucking weird that you can actually get a Guinness Book of World Records for that. So yeah, but yeah, Keanu, rough girl. I love Keanu Reeves as well. Some good stuff. singing and karaoke in prison shows. Wow. Yes, filthy news. They are rebooting Pirates as well. They're going to have a female lead now because that's where everything's going. It's you know, quite honestly, it's when you take existing stuff and you just basically switch genders instead of taking again. There's tons of books out there that are good that you can actually that are gender specific that you can make movies out of. But if you want to take existing properties and just gender swap because that is the flavor of the time, don't do it. Because otherwise you end up getting an Ocean's 8. Everyone remember that one or no? It was with Sandra Bullock. Came out last year. Yeah, that's right. Everyone forgot about that one. It was basically Ocean's 11, but with an all-female cast. So, yeah, you know what, Viking Bitch, that'd be awesome. Having a TV show with Patrick Stewart and Hugh Jackman. Maybe that's what the new Picard series will be. It'll be like the Odd Couple of space. Uh, yeah, people did used to make movies out of books all the time. Viking Bitch, they really did, but not anymore. Yeah, it's what happens is someone brings up a script and you have these coke snorting executives that go, yeah, but what's it like? And you have to pitch it like something that's already existed before. They don't have, they're scared of just bringing out something new, really. They don't think an audience will get something new, that people always want to see the same old shit over and over and over again. So, yeah, Filthy, I talked about Orville earlier in the podcast here. So yeah, it's you know, you can't win, and that's why I'm liking what's happening now on these streaming services. They are taking chances with stuff. Yes, like Sean Penn's The First stuff about was a fizzle, was a bomb, and that was because he spent too much time on these fucking interpersonal relationships instead of getting people to Mars. If that's what people wanted to see about people going to Mars, not the interpersonal relationships and, you know, oh, you know, my wife is dead and I'm still mourning her, and but I still don't know what to do about this mission to Mars. That's the reason why your shit gets canceled. Granted, I know you don't have the budget for it, then don't make it. If you don't have the budget for it, don't make it. Yeah, there you go. Viking Bitch says the biggest mistake is rebooting a property that is already great and never works. Exactly. Kind of like Escape from New York or Total Recall or no, you know, actually the biggest mistake is Viking Bitch is taking a property that's 30 years old and making a sequel to it. And trying to go with that sequel and basically all you're doing is trying to cash in on the original without ever thinking it through. Yeah. Yeah, Dante, I have to take a look at Kingdom. I know I have it in my queue. I just haven't gotten around to it. Like I said, there's so much stuff on. It's hard to do. Yeah, First Man to Mars is so I stopped, Slurmy. I stopped watching it. I just couldn't do it. It killed me. So reboot the Dark Crystal in 3D. You laugh about that, Cordell Fenival, but they are doing a direct sequel to the Dark Crystal. They're filming it right now, and I believe it's for Netflix. So there you go. It's not in 3D, but close. Yeah. Ejar says, well, everyone knows Mars isn't the place to raise your kids. Yeah, no one wants to be moving into that neighborhood. That neighborhood's wrong. Yeah. Reboot Buckaroo Banzai. You know, to tell you the truth, I would like to see a revival of Buckaroo Banzai happen with the original cast. Bring them in and explain that the reason why we haven't seen them all this time is because they were stuck in another dimension. That's all you got to do. And they come back to a fucked up world of, what they have to fix and how he's been forgotten and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, I think you could do it. Is it a Dark Crystal prequel? I thought it was a sequel. I forgot. Excuse me. Losing my voice there for a second. Some other news. We have John Krasinski is finally confirmed as directing the sequel to The Quiet Place. And his wife, Emily Blunt, and the two kids that were in there are in talks right now to return to it as well. I haven't seen The Quiet Place. I heard it's really good. I still want to see it. I just haven't had the time to sit down and watch it, quite honestly. And I'm going to see it at some point in time. I need to make some time for it. So it's good that he's actually doing that. That he is, I know he's writing the script for it as well. So that's actually a good thing. Viking Bitch says, I'm not happy with Brian Henson right now. He wasted 10 years on Happy Time Murders, but is still holding off on more Farscape. I don't think Brian Henson is not in charge of the Henson Studios right now. That is Disney. That's a Disney-owned thing, and he has nothing to do with it anymore. They had brought him in briefly, but now he's on his own thing altogether. And that's the reason why he was working on Happy Time Murders for so long. So, a rough girl says, it's so old, I don't think anyone would remember. Yeah, that's the other thing, too. Those of us old-timers who remember all this stuff, that's 30, years old or more, it's fresh in our minds still because we watch it over and over again, or we remember it over and over again because we're fans of this stuff. A lot of these kids today don't know what the hell is out there. I have coworkers who, I'll say something like, have fun storming the castle, and they look at me blankly. Yeah, Princess Bride reference, and they look at me blankly, and I'm like, you're old, you're 3 years old, and you have no recollection of this. No one showed this to you as a kid or anything like that, and nothing. Yeah, that's when you know you're old. Is you say a reference and people just stare at you blankly. You hear crickets coming out of their mouth, and there's no crickets in there. Yeah. And I take that into consideration now when I say things. Yeah. It's the same thing. I mean, I use a lot of Princess Bride quotes. It's only mostly dead. If he was all dead, all that's left to do is go through his pockets and look for loose change. Exactly. E-Jar gets me on that one. Exactly. Excuse me. Yeah. Excuse me. Oh, man. Rough Girl says, I said, gag me with a spoon, and they made me apologize because I offended my audience. At least you didn't say fuck me gently with a chainsaw. That would have really gotten you into HR trouble right there. Dante says, that's when I knew I got old. At the bar using Pulp Fiction references. Stanley Tweedle says, I have the same issue with my young coworkers. The best reaction I get is, was that supposed to be a dad joke? Yeah. Yeah. I've gone into the snarky territory now, so I will usually if there's a kid show from the 90s or the 2000s that stole from something that was back further, it was and I say the reference of whatever it was from back further, and they look at me blankly, I'm like, you probably know it as this. And they're like, oh, and I'm like, yeah, that's where it came from originally. Yeah. Yeah, the new stuff, Slurmy, it's you know, there's so much shit out there, and there's so many different ways of getting it. And this, I know this is turning into like an old man rant at this point. You know, goddamn kids, get off my lawn. Yeah, actually, the D&D references they get now, because D&D is swung back around again. Yes. So yeah, these references, I mean, yeah, it dates you. It does. It definitely does. So I like saying we need more cowbell and see people's faces. Yeah, and you say get off my lawn. People don't even, remember that either. That's a Clint Eastwood. Yeah, get off my lawn, you damn kids. If the D&D references people get now, because like I said, they swung back around. There's actually plenty of YouTube channels that are out there that play D&D. Yeah, kind of scary. So what else I have here? Movie-wise, news. Winona Earp. I don't know if anyone of you watch Winona Earp on Sci-Fi Channel. They are supposed to be doing a season 4, but season 4 has gotten delayed because IDW, which is the comic book company that's here in San Diego, I actually walk past there every now and then, is looking for funding, which they are contractually obligated to do now that Sci-Fi has greenlit the 4th season. I know that IDW is in a bit of financial quandary at the moment. So them finding this much money in order to do a TV series is going to be pretty bad for them, I think. But I like the series. If you haven't seen Winona Earp, give it a shot. It's I just said Winona Ryder. Winona Earp is the name of the show, and she is a descendant of the Earps, and she has a gun. So what happened was that all the people that Wyatt Earp had killed with his gun went to hell. They've become demons now, and they come back every whenever an Earp becomes of age, if you will, or whenever I take that back. So whenever the Earp, or the oldest Earp, dies, the demons come back, and they are confined to this triangle of land that the Earps have in this town, and they can't escape from it. And they're there basically to kill the next Earp. Is what they're there. It's pretty good. See you, rough girl. Head on out. Have fun. Have fun jumping out of airplanes. Perfectly good airplanes. So, Morks, you take off too. See you later. And we will talk to you guys later. So, yeah, if you haven't seen it, it's actually a good show. It's on Sci-Fi. It's, like I said, 3 seasons in, and a lot of fun. But, yeah, they're looking for funding. So my last little bit of news that I have is there's a movie called The Old Guard that has Charlize Theron in it. It's based on a comic book from Greg Rucka. And what this movie is about a group of immortals who, excuse me, tells the story of a small group of covert group of immortal mercenaries who must fight to keep their team together when they discover the existence of a new immortal and their extraordinary abilities are exposed. So yeah, this is landed over now at Netflix. They had already made the movie, and Netflix is now going to be the one that actually shows this. I'm looking forward to this. Hopefully it doesn't turn out to be another, what was that really bad Will Smith movie where he was a superhero? Hancock? Yeah, Hancock. Oh, Charlize Theron was in that one too. So, but yeah, some interesting stuff though that's coming out. And that's all I got for news. What do you guys been reading, talking about all that kind of stuff. Yeah, Hancock was a bad movie. But you guys are just talking amongst yourselves. Is that what's going on? Yeah, I'm pretty much at the end of where I was at here with all my news. So take care of a little bit of business here. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. Also hit the like button. Or if you don't like what you see, hit the dislike button. Either way. Hit the bell as well if you want to see when I'm going to be on the next time live. And you may get your response back from YouTube. Who knows? Or half hour into it, as what happened with Slurmy Scott today. He got his notification half an hour after I already started, even though I started, I sent out the notification 45 minutes before I even started the stream. So there you go. If you're still on the fence about joining up, you can take a look. There's going to be some videos over on this side that are taken from my video library that are of your interest. They basically take a look at your algorithms. They track everything that you've watched, and they collate them. Take a look at my library, see what matches it best, and throw it up there. So take a look at that. And then you can come back and hit the subscribe button, which will be over here. So there you go. Also, my schedule is up on suspendedfanimation.com. And I have a Twitter and I have an Instagram as well. So you can follow me on all of those. Excuse me. Oh. Dante S says, anyone seen Colony? I know it's old, just cut it on Netflix. Awesome show. Yeah, I used to watch Colony until they canceled it. They ended it on a freaking cliffhanger. That's all I can say. So yeah, Dante, if you're watching it now, it's good, but don't get too invested in it, honestly. I'm not happy about it, let's just say. Yeah. What time is Umbrella Academy? I believe it's 10 a.m., Stanley Tweedle. It's on the website. Now I have to take a look myself because I don't remember. Because I'm old. I don't remember things anymore. And I do horrible voices sometimes. Let's see what we have here. 10 a.m. Yes, it is. It's going to be on 10 a.m. And like I said, Future Man is probably going to be on at 6 p.m., probably 5 p.m. tomorrow. Is what I'll do, depending on what I've got going on tomorrow. I don't think I have anything really pressing going on. So, help, there's a peck here with an acorn pointed at me. What? I don't know what you're talking about, Cordell. All right. Ejar says, okay, I only make guitar straps and belts for myself and band members. Interesting. Yep. Yeah, Stanley, I hadn't changed that one. I left it as it was. Oh, Willow. That was okay. You know, so Willow was one of those things that came out when I was a teenager, like, if I remember correctly, around like 15 or something like that. And Willow was more of a kid's movie than it was a teenage movie. And I remember watching it when it came out on HBO like long ago. Watched it, and I was like, man, I didn't like it at all. So I think I saw it that one time, and that was it. I left it alone. It's a lot of like a lot of George Lucas early movies. Howard the Duck I still like. Yeah, we talk about this whole stuff about people liking crap movies. That's one of my favorites. It's a crap movie, but it's got a very young Tim Robbins in it, and Leah Thompson, who may or may not have slept with a duck, you know, so they have implied bestiality within that movie as well. So there you go. And duck boobs too. Yes, it does have duck boobs in it. Duck boobs, yes. No word yet on a third season of Future Man, but more than likely they're going to do it. It is Hulu after all, and it's one of their more popular shows. And they're tweeting out like crazy all the time. They are definitely promoting the shit out of that on Twitter. And, of course, I'm covering it as well. And thank you, Ejar, for taking a look at the Future Man reviews. Excuse me. Yeah, Ricardo Aspi says it happens to me with Dario Argento's Inferno. Yeah. Yes, Viking bitch, duck boobs. Yeah. I kid you not. It's one of those things that's weird that if you ever see it and you're going to go, what the fuck was that? What did I just see? Yeah. Thanks, Cordell. Uh, yeah, Future Man is it's its own special little show, man. It really is, and a lot of people need to see it. Just a lot more people need to see it, and that's a good sci-fi comedy. That's the way sci-fi comedy should be, and it completely does not apologize for whatever it does, for whatever it says, and that's again, that's the way it should be. Yeah, it is a good niche on Andrej. So with that, Viking Bitch says the upcoming Howard the Duck series, will that be on DC streaming? No, that's going to be on Hulu. So yeah, let me talk about that. That's a good one. Thank you for bringing it up, Viking Bitch. I just remembered. So Howard. Kevin Smith is actually going to be writing that series along with. Now I'm blanking on his name. Oh my God, he's writing it along with another partner of his. And they are actually going to be covering this book right here. That's right behind me, The Essential Howard the Duck, which is the 70s version of Howard the Duck. Yeah, which is the politically incorrect version of Howard the Duck. It's going to be an animated series. They're going to have Beverly in it. And Beverly, they just said Leah Thompson is coming back to play Beverly. So she played it in the 80s movie, yes. And she's coming back for the Hulu animated movie to play Beverly once again. So I am definitely looking forward to that. Yeah, we talked about this last week, the Marvel Hulu thing that's going on. So they're also doing a Tigra and Dazzler animated show, a MODOK show where he is running a supervillain agency, but also he's having problems with his home life. So it's going to be kind of like a sitcom, and then also Hit Monkey. Yeah. Of course, Howard the Duck is a butt chugger. Come on. He can actually snort. He's got little things on top of his bill there that he can snort it into. He just needs a really long straw. That's all. Yeah. Stanley Tweedle says, when you reviewed episode 7, I noticed I stopped watching it. For Future Man? Is that what you're talking about, Stanley? Which one are you talking about there, Stanley? Oh, it's okay, for Future Man. Okay. Yeah, it's good. I know the second season, a lot of people were having a little problem. It does redeem itself. Trust me. Just keep going with it. The ending is one of those. Again, it's a kind of thing. It was a better ending of a season than I wasn't expecting it at all, quite honestly. And yeah, that's all I can say. I will say this: Seth Rogen does make an appearance in the final episode of the season. There we go. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. And yeah, Wolf's arc is great in season 2. But yeah, just the way it ends, it's so fucking weird. It's funny. It's just really funny. And where they're gonna go with it, I mean, they have absolutely everywhere they can go for season 3. It's an open book. Yeah, the Wolf Torque story. Yes. And with that said, again, take a look at the videos up here. Hit the subscribe button if you like to. And I will let everyone go. Thank you for everybody in the chat. And I also want to say thank you to everyone who subscribed lately. I believe I'm up to 158 subscribers at the moment. Really cool. Glad. Welcome aboard all the new people that are subscribed. and hope you're enjoying what you're watching. And let me know if, I mean, honestly, I can only review so much. I have a day job. I have a 40-hour-a-week job. It is hard for me to watch everything, but I tried as best as possible. So if there's stuff that you want to point me towards, definitely do that. Other than that, I want to say thank you to Cordell Fenival, Stanley Tweedle, Mark Maginot, Sculpt Leather Art by Viking Bitch, Movie Fanobi, Ricardo Aspie, Morks, who was in here earlier, as well as Slurmy Scott, Rough Girl, Andrzej Marek, Ijar, and who else do I have in here? Hopefully I said your name right, Ijar. Dante S. And I think I said Mark Maginot. I did, yes. And I believe that's all I have in here at the moment. So I know there's a few other people that were here, that and the Filthy News, of course, and Joe Greer the Third as well, and James. That's right, James came in for a little bit as well. Thank you guys. So I want to say thank you to everyone who is here and all the people, the new people that have shown up as well. And oh, E equals Eric. Thank you, Ejar. I'll call you Eric if I remember. You know, my brain's like a sieve, quite honestly. Ejar says, one question I've always wondered about is who orders the office supplies in the Super Friends? Should Manhunter chase everyone around with Staples, with the Staples catalog? I think they have robots that do that. Kind of like what is in the Fortress of Solitude, is that Superman has all those robots. So I think he has robots that do that. So there we go. Take a look at the videos. Hit the subscribe button. I will see you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m. for Umbrella Academy. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may end up in a really bad remake of some 80s movie or a sequel to it 30 years down the line. Good night, everybody.